is there SEC homerism within the Every Given Saturday tour? And this has been a problem it's been something we've been dealing with for about the past 2 or 3 weeks, because as you know, we just choose wherever we want to go on Saturdays, and we've been very SEC heavy so far this year. Some of you also claim that we talk just SEC too much in general on the channel. So I'm going to break this to you as simply and as softly but firmly at the same time as I can. When I got here and they let us do this show, I remember the very first show we did, I made a promise to you. And I said, it's going to be your show. I'm going to be the one talking, but I will not have my hands on the steering wheel. That'll be you. You will totally program and format our show for us. We're just going to follow you. I said the same thing when we started it independently back in Columbus. I said, I want this to be a national college football show, but I'm ultimately going to follow you. In my perfect world, everybody cares about every conference the exact same. In my perfect world, we could talk about Oregon versus Washington State last week every bit as long as we talked about fill in the blank. I mean, whatever we talked about last week. That would be a perfect world to me, because I'm about the least biased person in this room right now. I want to talk about all the regions. I've shared my feelings on what my utopian college football world is. But that's not reality. The reality is some places they care more. Some places, dare I say, it just means more. And we follow them. So when I say that it's your show, I literally mean it's your show. And what we've done and what we will continue to do is we will track every bit of data that is ingested by this YouTube channel and our podcast feed. We know what you watch. We know what you listen to. We know how long you listen to it. We know where you are geographically when you're listening to it and watching it. And we know what you click on. And we know what has the higher click-through rates. We know what has the longer viewer or listener duration or audience retention in our world. And therefore, this is not a charity. It's a business. We follow you. Colin has a little helpful graphic for me. If you don't buy what I'm talking about, we had a show Sunday night. It was a reaction show. We always do the same format on Sunday night. We cut 6 individual videos from that show. And you're looking at them. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you're looking at that home screen. And you're looking at a video about Texas getting upset, and you're looking at Ohio State rolling, and you're looking at an A&M Arkansas video. Miami got upset. There's a Tennessee Florida video there. All of those did 20,000 or more views. Then we did Clemson Wake Forest, and it's sitting there south of 6,000 views. Now, that is a microcosm a lot of times of what we deal with when we're stacking the show and formatting the shows. We know ahead of time there are some things that aren't going to get much traction. Now, again, if this were an independent channel and I was just out there doing this for fun, it wouldn't matter. But you see, all this backing we get Academy on board, we got CBS writing the checks for us. In return, they want just that, return on investment. And so I simply ask you, what would you do if this were your show? What would you do if this were your channel? And those are not unique results. That's how it works pretty much every time. How would you shape and format the show? That's the first thing I ask. Second thing, as it relates to the Every Given Saturday tour, we've been very SEC heavy. We have. There are 2 edges that SEC games or games in the South have. I will admit this. Number 1, proximity. But number 2, on average, passion is just higher in the SEC. They don't have the market cornered on it. I'm not saying they do. I'm saying if you've ever been around college football, you know what I'm saying is true. There's a third thing, too. The quality overall of football is better in the SEC. They don't have the market cornered on good football. I'm saying on average, you got more big-time games down there. So when we're sitting here every Saturday in Nashville and we're deciding where to go, knowing we have to get back here for a Sunday show, it's hard to go to the West Coast. Now, I still want to go out there. It's hard to get out there. So you get an edge the closer you are to Nashville. Secondly, we're trying to get to the best environments. We're trying to see the most teams. We're trying to see the best matchups. So far this year, that's the way it has shaken out. Now, if you'll look at last year, because this is the map. This is where we went last year. We went to Iowa State. We went up to Penn State. They played Auburn, but it wouldn't have really mattered. We would have gone up there in week 3 anyway. We went to OU Texas. We went to Michigan State. We went to OU Baylor. We went to Michigan State, Ohio State. We went to Ohio State, Michigan. We went all over the place last year. Why? Because the criteria and the circumstances dictated that it was fine for us to do so. It hasn't been that way so far this year. Now, I will give you a little spoiler. I've looked down the road at the schedule. Things are about to rapidly change, so I don't think we'll be dealing with claims of SEC homerism on the Every Given Saturday tour much longer. But here's what I'm saying. It's as simple as this. If you want the formatting of the show to change, you will change it. I will just follow you. That's what we've always done on the show. That's what we will continue to do. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I really, really mean I'd love to spend more time talking about the Big 12. Would love to spend more time talking about the Pac-12. But I'm not going to do it to silence a few people on Twitter. I'm going to do it because big enough amounts of you, through your traffic and habits, tell me that you want it. So, as I tend to say at the conclusion of these kinds of segments, our balls are in your court. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me, that's how we keep this entire thing free.